Ethan Carter stepped out of the arrival gate at Chicago O'Hare Airport with a worn duffel bag slung over one shoulder and a suitcase rolling behind him. 6 long months had passed since he had accepted a construction management assignment in Seattle, a decision he believed would secure a brighter future for his family. The promotion had come with a generous salary, but it had also demanded endless overtime, delayed flights home, and countless lonely nights in a hotel room. Throughout every difficult day, one thought kept him going: the moment he would finally see his wife, Olivia, again. As he walked through the bustling terminal, travelers hurried in every direction. Children laughed as they reunited with grandparents. Business executives rushed toward connecting flights, and airport announcements echoed through the massive hall. Ethan barely noticed any of it. His eyes searched only for Olivia. Before leaving Seattle that morning, he had reread the last message she had sent him. "I can't wait to hold you again. I'll be waiting the second you land." Those words had stayed with him during the entire flight. The sacrifices had been worth it, or so he believed. Ethan had missed birthdays, anniversaries, and quiet evenings at home, because he wanted to save enough money for the dream house. Olivia had always wanted every paycheck had gone toward their future. Whenever work became unbearable, he pictured her smile and reminded himself that everything he was doing was for them. Then he spotted her standing near the security barrier. In a light blue dress, Olivia looked exactly as he remembered, though perhaps a little more elegant than before. Her eyes met his and a bright smile spread across her face. She hurried toward him, weaving through the crowd until she reached him. Without hesitation, she threw her arms around his neck, holding him tightly. "I missed you," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. Ethan closed his eyes and hugged her back with all the strength he had. The familiar scent of her perfume instantly erased months of loneliness. For a brief moment, the airport disappeared around them. It was just the two of them together again. "I missed you too," he replied softly, "more than you could ever imagine." Olivia pulled back just enough to look into his eyes. She smiled warmly, brushing a strand of hair from his forehead, as if nothing had changed between them. Ethan felt a wave of relief. Every fear that the distance might have damaged their marriage seemed to melt away, laughing together. They began walking toward baggage claim. Ethan reached for the handle of her carry-on bag, insisting that she let him carry everything. She playfully protested before finally giving in, and they talked about ordinary things, the flight, the weather, and how strange it felt to finally be standing beside each other again. Ethan noticed she seemed slightly distracted, glancing around the terminal every few moments, but he assumed she was simply overwhelmed by the excitement of seeing him after so long. He had no reason to doubt the woman he loved. With a hopeful heart, Ethan followed Olivia through the crowded airport, completely unaware that within the next few minutes, everything he believed about his marriage was about to be shattered. As Ethan and Olivia reached the baggage claim area, the carousel had just begun to move. Suitcases of every size rolled past, while travelers gathered around scanning for their luggage. Ethan stood beside Olivia, smiling as he imagined the drive home, a quiet dinner together, and finally sleeping in his own bed for the first time in months. Life felt normal again. "I can't believe I'm finally home," Ethan said with a relieved laugh. Olivia forced a smile, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. She folded her arms tightly across her chest and glanced toward the airport entrance, then checked her phone. Ethan noticed the nervous habit, but assumed she was responding to a family message. "Everything okay?" he asked. "Yeah," she answered quickly. "Just a friend asking if we landed safely." Before Ethan could respond, Olivia's suitcase appeared on the conveyor belt. He stepped forward, grabbed the heavy bag with ease, and set it beside them. "Looks like that's everything," he said at that exact moment. A confident voice interrupted them. "There you are." Ethan turned to see a well-dressed man in his late 30s, approaching with complete confidence. He wore an expensive, tailored suit, carried a set of car keys in one hand, and walked directly toward Olivia as though he belonged there. Without even acknowledging Ethan, the stranger reached down, lifted Olivia's suitcase, and smiled at her. "Ready to go, sweetheart?" he asked naturally. Time seemed to stop. Ethan stared at the man's hand, gripping his wife's luggage. He waited for Olivia to laugh, introduce the stranger as a relative or co-worker, or correct the obvious misunderstanding. Instead, she froze. Her face lost all color. The smile she had shown Ethan only moments earlier disappeared completely. "Olivia?" Ethan asked quietly. She looked from Ethan to the stranger and back again. Unable to speak, Ethan stepped closer. "Who is this?" The man finally turned toward Ethan, with an expression of mild surprise. And you are, I'm her husband. Ethan answered firmly. The stranger frowned. Husband, he repeated. Olivia told me that marriage ended months ago. Those words struck Ethan harder than any punch ever could. He looked at Olivia, desperately searching for denial. Tell him he's mistaken instead. Tears filled her eyes. I'm sorry, Ethan. His heart pounded. Sorry for what? Olivia covered her face with trembling hands. I didn't think you'd come back, she whispered. Your project kept getting extended. Every time you called, there was another delay. I convinced myself our life together was already over. Ethan stood speechless. I worked every single day for us, he said quietly, every missed holiday. Every lonely night, every sacrifice was so we could build our future. The stranger slowly released the suitcase, realizing the truth was far different from what he had been told. He looked at Olivia with disbelief. You said he left you, she couldn't answer. Ethan slowly removed the gold wedding ring from his finger. He looked at it for a long moment, before placing it gently into Olivia's trembling hand. I never stopped choosing you, he said, his voice steady. Despite the heartbreak, you stopped choosing us. Without another word, he picked up his own suitcase and walked toward the airport exit. Behind him, Olivia called his name through tears, but Ethan never turned around. The crowded terminal swallowed him as he disappeared into the stream of travelers, leaving behind the woman he had crossed the country to come home to, and the life he thought was waiting for him.